The sun is setting. You're sitting outside a cave 100,000 years ago. You have no flashlight, no door to lock, no walls between you and whatever's out there. Every animal that hunts at night is waking up, and you can't see in the dark. Your eyes are useless after sundown. Your hearing is mediocre. You smell weaker than every predator within a mile. So, how did you survive? How did your ancestors close their eyes every single night for 300,000 years and wake up the next morning? The answer is the most underrated invention in human history. Let's start with what was actually out there. After sunset, the world becomes a different planet. Cave lions, 3 times larger than modern lions, hunt at night. Cave hyenas, with a bite force that could crush bones, hunted in packs of 20 in total darkness. Saber-toothed cats specifically ambushed prey at dusk and dawn. Leopards, the most dangerous predator to early humans, are nocturnal. Every single one of these animals could see in the dark. You could not. So when the sun went down, you weren't just uncomfortable, you were prey. The first weapon, fire. Then, around 1 million years ago in Wonderwork Cave in South Africa, archaeologists found something that changed everything. Burned bones, ash layers, hearths, controlled fire. And fire didn't just give light, it gave humans the first thing they had ever owned that predators were afraid of. A campfire creates a safety zone roughly 30 feet in diameter. Inside that circle, predators will not enter. It is hardwired into them. Even today, modern lions in Africa avoid fire. Cave lions, hyenas, saber-tooths, they all had the same instinct. So your ancestors didn't fight the darkness. They built a small bubble of daylight inside it. And inside that bubble, for the first time in human history, they could sleep without dying. But fire alone wasn't enough. A fire can go out, wind can shift, rain can fall. So your ancestors did something incredible. They turned natural caves into fortresses. The genius wasn't in the cave itself, it was in how they used it. A small entrance is easier to defend, so they chose caves with narrow openings, sometimes just wide enough for one person. They blocked the entrance with stones, bones, and brush. They positioned the fire close to the opening, so any predator approaching had to walk directly through flames. And inside the cave, they slept in specific positions, children in the deepest part, away from the entrance, strongest adults near the front, near the fire, near the spears. This wasn't an accident. This was a defensive architecture invented thousands of years before architecture existed. And here's what nobody talks about. Your ancestors didn't all sleep at the same time. In 2017, anthropologists studying the Hadza tribe in Tanzania discovered something fascinating. Across any 20-person group at any hour of the night, at least one person was almost always awake. They called this the sentinel hypothesis. Older adults whose sleep patterns shifted naturally with age were awake earlier in the morning. Younger adults stayed up later. Light sleepers, anxious sleepers, restless sleepers, all the people we consider broken today, they were the watchers. They were the reason the rest of the group survived. Your great-great-great-grandmother who couldn't sleep through the night, she wasn't suffering from insomnia, she was on duty. Every restless night you have right now is genetic memory of someone who once saved their entire family by being awake when others weren't. But the real secret was the sleep itself. Modern humans sleep in one long block. We aim for 8 straight hours and call any wake up in the middle of the night a problem. Your ancestors did the opposite. Historical records, studies on isolated tribes, and a famous 1992 experiment by psychiatrist Thomas Ware all confirm the same thing. Before artificial light, every human on Earth slept in 2 phases. First sleep, about 4 hours from sunset until midnight, then a wakeful period, 1 to 2 hours of being awake in complete darkness around a low fire. Then, second sleep, another 4 hours until dawn. That middle waking period wasn't a mistake. It was the safest time of the night. And your ancestors used it to add wood to the fire, check the children, talk softly, repair tools, tell stories. They built community in the hours when modern humans now panic about not sleeping. In Shanidar Cave, Iraq, archaeologists found something that broke them. A Neanderthal skeleton from 60,000 years ago. He had a broken arm that healed. He was blind in one eye. He had severe arthritis. He could not hunt. He could not fight. He could not see in the dark. Most importantly, he could not stand watch, and yet he lived to about 40 years old for a Neanderthal, which means someone else stood watch for him. Some night in some cave 60,000 years ago, a younger person stayed awake longer so that the blind old man could sleep safely. They added wood to the fire so his bones would stay warm. They listened to predators because his eyes could not. They kept him alive not because he was useful, but because he was theirs. This is the part of the story that doesn't make it into the textbooks. We didn't just survive the night by being strong or smart. We survived because we took turns, because we cared, because someone always stayed awake so someone else could rest. Tonight, you will close your eyes in a room with locked doors, with walls, with electric lights you can turn on with a single tap, with phones that can summon help, with insurance, security systems, neighbors who would hear you scream, and you will still feel, somewhere deep in your nervous system, the urge to check the door one more time, the instinct to keep one ear half awake, the strange comfort of leaving a small light on. That feeling is not paranoia. It is 300,000 years of evolution telling you that the night is dangerous. Your ancestors carried that fear so completely that they built fires, designed caves, organized sleep schedules, and took shifts watching the darkness. You inherited their bodies, but you also inherited their fear. And every safe night you have ever slept through is built on top of every restless night they spent so that you could. So tonight, when you reach for the light switch out of habit, when you double-check the lock for no real reason, when you wake up at 3 a.m. and lie still in the dark, listening, remember, you are not broken. You are not anxious. You are the descendant of every person who ever survived a night they should have died in. They never met you. They had no idea you would exist, but they kept the fire burning anyway. The least you can do is sleep well. Subscribe for more stories about the people who paid the price so you could be safe. And in the comments, what's the one habit you have at night that you now realize might be ancient?